Warning, this game contains loud noises, flashing lights, and lots of jump scares. Hello everybody. Wait, hold on, this isn't it, hold on. Yeah, do you scary, go ahead. Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to Help Wanted 2. We're here gonna do a lot of stuff. Today we have a lot of stuff to talk about, so much stuff in fact, that we actually have a piece of paper with a bunch of stuff written down that I'm going to be referring to throughout this video. And on that piece of paper is a timeline of what happens throughout this game and Security Breach. I did that the wrong way. This game is ahead of Security Breach. Either way, we're gonna jump into this and we're gonna be talking about a ton of stuff today. Like, I mean a lot. So without further ado, we're gonna go right into it. Okay, so right off the bat, we have a couple things to talk about and a couple things to do. First of all, we have to look around over here. Ooh, I'm getting dizzy. Okay, I need to not spin around so much. That's probably bad, right? That's probably not good. But this stuff is very important. Where we're at right now, we are in the same spot that Gregory went down. And I don't know if this was obvious to everyone else or not, but if it isn't obvious, hear me out. I know this place is filled with FNAF 6 stuff, but if you look at the layout, it matches perfectly. There's a generator next to a pizza door, which isn't open right now. I don't know why, probably because Cassie closed it, or whoever we're playing as. I'm assuming we're playing as Cassie. And then there's a thing there next to a giant hole in the floor that leads downwards that had a hanging thing. If I'm remembering correctly, that was there in the other game. But the difference is, this place has stuff in it. Like a lot of stuff in it. And I think I know why. I think I just found out why. Okay. Oh, and this makes even more sense now. Okay. Okay. We are cooking right now. We're cooking. I almost want to write this down so I don't lose track of this thought. So, it makes sense that there's so much stuff here because if we're playing as Cassie and I have everything right timeline-wise, then that means that this place was already visited by Gregory and possibly even Vanessa. Oh shit. It was visited by Vanessa because of this ending. Okay, this is about to be so important. Let's go over here. Let's replay Faztron. Oh my god. Okay, so I just found out what happened to Vanessa. Wait, so how does this okay, let me try that sentence again. How does this activate? Is this activated by all 5 of these combining? Is that right? Because we can't touch them or anything, so we can't combine them. If we replay Faztron, does it combine all 5 of them? No, because we're here. And we don't have ghost... Oh, wow. Okay. Y'all are confirming all of my suspicions, and you don't even know it. You guys don't know what's happening, but I'm going through a lot theory-wise right now. I'm contemplating putting this, like, further in the video so that it makes more sense. Because we still have to talk about the timeline, and all these revelations I'm having are based off of this timeline that we created. So, before we talk about the timeline, I want to go into a funny little match of something just for fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into DJ Beginner, and we're going to just have some fun DJing right quick. I'm ready. Do whatever you want, man, because I'm going to do something completely different. How much time do we have? I forget how scary you are. Hey, man. Hell yeah. Look at his style. You can't deny him. Okay. Let's see what we can do, though. Okay. We get so much time. Okay. Keeping it light a little bit. Now we're kind of grooving. We're getting it. You can do some quick changes. Okay. So this is like actually something you can do. I don't actually remember what the real thing was. There we go. Nice. We still got it too. We still got it too. So that's pretty cool. I mean, there's not that many options. I'm gonna be real. There's really not that many options to mess around with. But what is there is pretty interesting. I like it. Ooh. Alright, there we go. We're making moves on him. We're making moves. He's jamming out. See, yeah, there's not that many options right now. There's not that many options, but what is there is pretty good. That looks like Monty, don't it? That might be the wrong eye. Right there. Depending on which eye it is, it's either right there or right there. I don't know what eyeball you guys are on. Oh, look at that. What a pleasant place to be. Everybody wants to be there. The floating pizza? Yeah, that's... Everybody wants to be there. Look at that. Those green hills. It's like a green hill zone or something. What was the... Man, I'm good. I'm a DJ. Look at me go. Alright, now that we did something just for fun, now we can start talking about a lot of theory stuff. That looks actually disgusting. Ugh. The amount of cheese in that, man. Like you're out for the whole night if you do that. Possibly more, because I'm assuming that the amount of calories in that thing will kill you. You just gonna do that? When is that normal? Did I not see that before? Is that like a normal thing? Hold your horses now. No. Hey. I need the fast cam. I need the fast cam. We can totally get it too. We can totally get the fast cam and then we can take a picture of that. That might do something. Okay. That's important. That is very important to know. But now that we're at a point in time where we can start talking about the theory stuff, let's do exactly that. But before we do that, or while we do that rather, let's jump into the pizza party mini game. That's not what it's called. Okay, so the reason we're jumping into this one specifically is because this is the thing with the fast cam, and I'm wondering if beating this gives us the fast cam quicker. Either way, let's start talking about theories. So basically, let's talk about the timeline. I should have looked at the pause menu before doing this. Hold on. So at this point in time, we're assuming that the canon ending of Security Breach is the one where Gregory burns down the place and escapes with Freddy. Butter for one, chicka chuggy. And the reason that I think that that is the canon ending is because of the bloody state of it. Do you see this place? This is not a place that is good. Also, I just realized we should probably do this. So we're going off of that being the canon ending, which also means that we don't really know what happens to Vanessa, but we can figure that out based off of Candy Cadet's story in this game. So in this game, Candy Cadet tells a story about a girl who gets a lifelong star from a witch in the woods. Then she leaves and comes back later on in life, meeting a kid out front, in front of the forest leading to the witch's house. So basically at the entrance of the place, she meets a kid who says that he will help her. And then that kid betrays her and she gets murdered by the witch, quote unquote. And in my eyes, what that means is Vanessa escaped after Ruin, escaped the fire, probably with burns, which is why they say a life-altering scar or whatever. So she escapes with a life-altering scar, and then comes back later to try to kill the monster. And Gregory, the kid, is out front waiting for her, helping her kill the witch, quote unquote, who we can assume is Burn Trap, right? Probably Burn Trap. But what I think really happens is I think that she goes to Ruin while it's all messed up with Gregory. They both go there, and she helps Gregory set up a bunch of stuff around the place. Because if we're playing through that DLC, there's like a ton of rabbit-themed stuff, and it doesn't make a lot of sense unless we're thinking about it with the mindset of that being stuff that Vanessa made to help Gregory keep things in check in the broken down security place. Or maybe Gregory had that in mind, but she didn't. Maybe she was there to get back at Burntrap, but Gregory was there to fix the place and keep it safe. Because he lives there, probably, still. I forgot what I was saying. You might be thinking, this was a terrible idea for theory crafting, and you would be right, but we really need this fast cam, and I have a feeling this is the minigame we gotta do to get it, so we're doing this more. At the end of Security Breach, we see this place burning down, which is why it's in such disarray when we're here in the DLC. So that would explain the life-altering scar that she has, if not just the mental trauma of being possessed and then not being possessed, or is she still possessed? That's an interesting one. Is she still possessed? I would say yes, she is. Even after she's dead, she's still possessed, I think. And there's a lot of reasons that I think that. And I think we, by playing these mini-games, are helping her fight back against said possession. Because my theory is that these mini-games are from Vanessa's perspective during the point in time that we were talking about, where she's hanging out with Gregory in this place to try and either fix it or create security nodes and keep the Mimic in the basement. Maybe she knows about the Mimic, and maybe Gregory genuinely did betray her because of the Mimic. Either way, I think we're Vanessa right now. Like with this minigame, we're Vanessa. I think in all the minigames, we're Vanessa. And when I say all of them, I do mean all of them, including the Fall Fest minigame, but we'll talk about that later because I still don't know what Fall Fest is yet. So we're gonna kind of be leaving Fall Fest out of this this theory crafting that we're doing. So Vanessa dies because Gregory betrays her, and it probably actually is Gregory that betrays her. It could be the Mimic, and that then like it's a whole thing where Vanessa thinks that Gregory betrayed her, but really it was the Mimic. But we don't know how good the Mimic is at mimicking. And I can only assume that the Mimic was only using a walkie-talkie to mimic, and not actually, you know, Gregory's fucking skin. In that video that we played earlier in this episode, we see Vanessa die, and that, I'm pretty sure, is the canon way that she dies, getting jumped by a bunch of those guys. And the reason that I was freaking out about that taking place in the destroyed version is because that kind of confirms the theory that we're going with. So with Vanessa dead, we move on to the next point in the timeline, which is Cassie getting the mask from the bunny robot that was the map bot. What I think that is I think that is Vanessa's last ditch effort as a ghost to get some sort of help, or to help out someone in need. Or maybe Gregory put her there on purpose. That might be why Gregory killed her. But it doesn't make sense why Gregory would be in control of the In Your Dream robots. Because as far as I'm concerned, the In Your Dream robots are whatever's left of the marionette? No, that wouldn't make sense. I think what they really are is Vanessa going insane and being possessed by a rabbit and turning security bots that she controls via the security terminals into scary things to scare the people that she's using them on. Or there's a whole other theory about them having illusion discs on while they're looking like that, which would explain why they look like that. And that's a whole other thing that we can get into a different day. Because I am a firm believer in illusion discs. I think illusion discs are a huge part of this game. I think they're where most things came from. Like the mask right now, I'm pretty sure that came from the illusion discs. But there is a whole other thing that we're going to talk about soon, which makes me think that that might not be the case. And they might not come from illusion discs, it might come from something entirely different, which is kind of a wild card. And it's a bit of a more fun theory that we don't really have proof for yet. But we're going to talk about that after this. Did we put the disappointments? There we go. So Cassie gets the mask from Vanessa, or maybe from Gregory, we don't know. We'll figure that out at some point, probably. But either way, Cassie gets the mask, she goes on this whole adventure with the DLC, and during that time, in that adventure, Roxy, that's not the right one, Vanessa is dead. And we know this not only because of the ending where, you know, we give her the mask and we're inside of that one thing, but we also get extra proof of this because she is still in the system. She is still connected to everything via the mask. And we know that because when Cassie goes through the mask dimension on the ending, I don't actually remember what it's called, I think it's the AR ending, she sees Vanessa already there along with Helpy, which is symbolizing, what's his name? I forget his name. The Mimic. Because throughout the entire game, Helpy is talking to you through the mask. And that is the Mimic, basically. So Gregory is like, I found a place to stay, a place for us to hide, which is basically the death world. I'm dead. Damn. This is actually so difficult. Is this why... This is probably what you have to do to get the fast cam, because it's incredibly difficult. Either way, we're gonna go back to the main hub, because I need to be able to read theory stuff. But either way, we know that Vanessa is inside of the mask at this point, or at least inside of the AR world, because in the AR ending, where Cassie goes permanently into the AR world, aka into Balloon World, because that's where she ends up being at the end. It's a weird ending, alright? We see not only Vanessa, but we also see Helpy inside of that place, chilling out with, I think, Gregory. Gregory might not be there, I don't remember. But the reason that that's important is because the entire DLC, we see Helpy through the mask talking to you as if it's its own entity, changing into like a more sinister version as they go, which means that that symbolizes the Mimic, or at least the Mimic is in control of that, and he's probably like corrupting it somehow, and we'll, you know, touch on that more later on. But either way, the point is Vanessa is permanently stuck in the AR world at this point in time. And I know that that's not the canon ending. The AR ending is not the canon ending at all. But the fact that Cassie shows up and Vanessa is already there shows us that she's already there, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the ending that's canon when it comes to the DLC for Security Breach, that's a lot harder of a question. I don't actually know which ending is canon yet, but it doesn't really matter what ending is canon, at least not to this theory. You know, this theory doesn't rely on the ending being a specific ending, but it does kind of rely on that to a certain degree. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it comes down to two endings. It comes down to the Scooper ending, or the ending where you get left behind, dropped down the elevator, and left with Roxy. And I'm personally leaning more towards that one, where you're left in the basement with Roxy after being dropped down and you cut the Mimic's arm off or whatever. That seems like the most likely one, because Roxy is a very important part, kind of this theory. I guess she could have done all of this on her own, but it's a lot more likely that she did it with Roxy's help. So, Cassie gets dropped down an elevator and is now stuck in the basement in the FNAF 6 location with nothing but a mask and an animatronic. So, what does she do? She moves a bunch of stuff into the beginning area, into that location, to create some sort of way to get out, some sort of way to reprogram the elevator to break through Gregory's security. She took one of Gregory's computers, one of his camera things, and she brought it to the FNAF 6 location to try to use it against him. How she got it to work with Vanessa's mask, we don't actually know. I don't think we'll have to figure that out. There's a lot of stuff where we're just kind of filling in the gaps here, but I'm trying to explain away why all of this stuff would be in this location. And my best theory right now is that Cassie, after being locked down here, used the materials that she had to create a livable space, or at least a space where she can do work. And I think the reason the game opens up with us inside of the mask and we can't take it off is because of her traversing the place. She was just traversing this location which might be a new location entirely. There's two options here. Either this is her remodeling this location with Cassie, or she's going to the exact same model of building with a different layout and different stuff in it that was also used to get down into this tunnel, which means she probably came up through the middle. She probably came up through the middle of the room and doesn't really have a way back right now, probably due to some AR stuff. Realistically, the way that it works in the Ruin DLC is a lot of the time when you put the mask on, you can go through like a door or it moves a box or something, and that's how you get into the location. So with that logic in mind, it would make it so if she put on her mask, she was probably coming through a door or some sort of entrance like that that is open in the VR world, but none of the doors are open in the VR world. So what I think is happening is I'm starting to lean towards this being a different location, because there's those two possibilities of either she remodels the one location or she finds the exact same model later on. I think it's that one, because this is the FNAF 6 model. Actually, no. Okay, so I'm leaning a lot more towards her remodeling the location with Roxy's help. That would make a lot of sense because of what's in this location. What we see is one of the plushies, one of the Night Marionette plushies from the campaign being in that location. We also see Candy Cadet, which is in that location next to, it's pretty close by. Candy Cadet is close by. And there's a bunch of stuff that we've seen in the cave system, in like the final part of Ruin and of Security Breach, which makes me think that she is finding these objects and bringing them to this location for one reason or another, and I think I maybe know the reason. I think I might know the reason. I think when she puts on the mask with certain stuff in a certain location, it does something. Because the things she has around the place kind of correlate to the things inside the mask, at least a little bit. But then some of them kind of don't, like the entirety of the kitchen disappearing when you take the mask off. That's a little weird. It's weird how there's an entire chunk of the actual building missing. But it would make sense if they walled it off, because we're gonna get to the next point that I have, which is probably the biggest point in this. And we don't even need this piece of paper for this, because this is all timeline stuff, which actually, you know what? Let's wrap up the timeline stuff, because we're pretty close to this. So we're going off of the narrative that Cassie is with Roxy, bringing all this stuff to this location. So Cassie then plays through all of these mini games that we're playing through in the game. You know, we play the game and we unlock these robots, we do a bunch of stuff, and it changes things in the real world. Cassie playing through all of these pretty much memories of Vanessa through the mask, through the computer, using them both together to play through these memories. She's basically reliving what Vanessa went through, and she's seeing all the things that Vanessa saw. And after that happens, I don't really know why, but I'm assuming that Vanessa's ghost finally sees her as worthy, and so she gives her access to Princess Quest. And then she plays through Princess Quest, and we see the old princess show up, give us the sword, the player, which is Cassie, passing down the mantle to the next person, giving Cassie free access to the mask after beating the Princess Quest. And when she beats the Princess Quest, Vanessa rewards her by destroying Glitchtrap and removing him from the mask, while also removing him from herself as well in the process. Beating Glitchtrap, basically, because that is the entire reason that she went back to this place, to kill Burntrap, to get rid of the glitch in the system, you know, to fix the problem that was happening with the Pizzaplex. And she did it. She did it with the help of Cassie, and that, I think, is the whole point of this game. I'm pretty sure Vanessa is working with Cassie through the mask, a ghost in the machine, helping a human being in the real world, in like real time, to solve the mysteries, rewrite histories, and do some DuckTales. A woohoo. So with that being said, that leaves us at where we're at now. Cassie has a free mask with the ability to do some crazy shit, which we're about to talk about next. We're about to talk about what the mask is and what it actually does. But she has this mask with its crazy ability, and now she can use that to her advantage to escape this Pizzaplex situation. But it doesn't seem like she's going to yet. It seems like she keeps getting shit over and over. So if we go over here and we take the mask off, there's a lot of stuff in here. Like I said, that's kind of stuff that we've seen before, basically relics from the older games. And now that I'm looking around, there's a lot less than I thought, but there is some important stuff, like this generator location, all of this, which if I'm right, from all the research that we did in Security Breach, that is liquid nitrogen, which is important because that's the same thing that powers those machines. But yeah, this guy was moved up here somehow, which is very important. There's also that, which is the gumball machine from FNAF VR 1. That's pretty interesting. What happened to the way down? Is this a different spot? That's the thing. I still don't know if this is a different spot yet, because there's stuff like this, which makes me think that Roxy and Cassie moved a bunch of stuff around, right? But then there's stuff like this hole in the middle of the place, where it's like this is not the exact layout of the hole. And I don't know if that's just game continuity or if I'm just misremembering it, but this wasn't how it was. These, however, especially this one, the really wide one, were there. They were just tipped over on their side, which is another reason where I'm like, okay, Roxy was helping Cassie move all this shit around. But we don't know yet. Right, so the thing that I wanted to talk about is probably the biggest problem with this theory is, like, how did Cassie survive, you know? How does she live if she's going through this place and she's stuck down here with no food, no water? Well, here's the answer. The food and water is still drinkable. The food and water from the VR world is still eatable and drinkable, which means when we go into a mini game, when we go into food prep, all of this food is consumable. We can eat this food, which means if we go to like El Chips, we can get some good stuff. We can get corn, we can get terrible food for you. But the point is, she has an infinite source of food and water through this. So when it comes to survival, she's kind of set because of this computer, which I just realized gets reskinned through the VR. Like when we go into VR, this computer looks completely different, which I should have picked up on before, but I guess it just slipped my mind. I think Roxy is in there. I think Roxy and her moved a bunch of shit around, and I think Roxy is inside of that place right now. I don't know why I'm saying that she's in there specifically. Probably just because I don't really have a place to put her. But the only logical thing for like how Cassie escapes and, you know, the ending that would make the most sense to give us a threat still is the ending where Cassie gets locked down in the basement. And I haven't seen the Mimic ending in a while, so I don't remember if she gets locked in the basement with that one as well. But either way, I'm pretty sure that Roxy is around somewhere and that she helped us with a bunch of stuff. Now, let's talk about the power of the mask, because at this point in time, we've been theorizing in the past that it is like, it's using your brain, your memories, your thoughts to create physical objects and to create a bunch of stuff that doesn't actually make sense. We were making up a bunch of science gobbledygook on how to explain away this, but I think we have a better explanation than this becoming a physical object based off of our brain's willpower that this mask is able to weaponize somehow. A better explanation, and this is gonna sound insane when I say it, but I promise you, in this franchise, it's pretty reasonable, and we'll also explain why that's the case. I think that this mask is actually time travel. Now hear me out on this. I'm pretty sure that this mask is using time travel. At least right now. In this current state of the mask, this feels like time travel. And the reason that I think that is because, first of all, when you go into the mask during the DLC, everything changes and it's all purple and there's floating objects everywhere and it looks like a glitchy mess. But this is different. This mask is changed somehow. And if it's time travel, that would make a ton of sense, because not only would it explain away how she's able to have a mask that works perfectly fine, but also still not have beat the ending, but it also explains away what's happening with almost everything we do involving the mask. We go back in time, there's a bunch of different stuff here. If we pick this up and go through the mask, it stays. If we shoot a dart on the wall, in this world, it stays there. In this world, that's a bad wall to test it. We'll test it over there. It's not there. But if we shoot that, like over there, when we go back, the darts stay. You know, they stay in the position that they were at during that point in time, because we're time traveling. And that also explains the mini-games. The mini-games are... Actually, I'm pretty sure the mini-games are the mask creating memories or whatever, doing what we originally thought. But this is a different version of the mask. This one is different. This mask can time travel. And the reason I don't think that these are time travel is because, well, actually, these might be time travel. Because I was gonna say you can die on these and then, like, try again. But if it's time travel, that still makes sense. And her winning the minigame every time would be fixing the problems of the past. So she's using the mask to go back in time and solve these issues, which is why she gets, like, permission, basically, to go into Princess Quest. But is that what's happening? Because there's stuff like the backstage Freddy, is it? Cold storage? Where Freddy says some shit like, "Oh, hello, good to see you again. I can't believe this kid has so many birthdays, am I right?" Because it's the same name on the cake every time. Stuff like that is very, very interesting to me. What do you mean it happened again? If we fixed the problems of the past through this mask, we went back in time and we solved everything, wouldn't it have not happened again? So maybe that's not exactly what's happening. Maybe what we're doing is a little different, but still kind of the same. I think either way, what we're doing is redeeming ghosts. It's making the spirits go to rest, which is shown in the Princess Quest minigame that we play through. It's making the original spirits of the animatronics finally find rest, possibly, maybe, for like the 5th time in this franchise. Or at least putting them to rest in her own mind, or in Vanessa's mind, to kind of cure the possession that she has. Which, if my theory is correct, she was only doing that because the dead William Afton was being haunted by the ghosts of the dead children, and so he basically possessed Vanessa to get her to help him get rid of his ghosts. So it's a whole cycle of, like, these kids died, then this guy gets haunted, and then he dies, and this girl gets haunted, and she dies, and then this, like, Cassie gets haunted. It's a whole cycle of just passing down this ghost problem, and Cassie is finally ending it through these minigames. What do you think about that, Freddy? I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I got stuff to do. So, another reason I think that this mask involves time travel. It would explain a lot about Vanessa's character if she had access to time travel in some way, shape, or form. Because Vanessa is very much linked to Fall Fest 83 and the Fall Fest stuff, because she was the princess. She's Princess Quest, and Princess Quest Girl in the Princess Quest 3, I think, goes back into Fall Fest and does Corn Maze, which means that canonically, in Corn Maze, we're playing as Vanessa. And I think I just realized, oh shit, I understand. This mask is the one from Fall Fest. The one that she finds in the basement of Fall Fest is this mask. That means that the mask she originally got was a time travel mask? Is that what that means? I think that means that the mask at Fall Fest 83, the mask that we get for doing the Corn Maze minigame, is a time travel mask. And then this is that same mask being given its old powers back, because this mask was turned into a security mask while she was possessed by Glitchtrap or whatever. So it was turned from whatever mask she had into this to create the, like, you know, link to the dimension where she can see everything. But then after you clear out Glitchtrap, you beat the system. You got rid of what he wanted. So now the mask can do what it normally does, time travel. Because when she got it in Fall Fest 83, it time traveled. That's my guess. That's my guess right now. That makes a lot of sense. Because the time traveling ball pit and stuff was very, very out of nowhere. And I was like, how does that link to anything with the actual franchise? Where does this fit in? And I've thought that about a lot of things in FNAF, but a lot of them are very not important, you know? A lot of them don't literally involve Springtrap. Like the Bonnie fish, the little tiny Bonnie fish, that was one thing. But this is like a whole other thing where it was like, why is this ball pit important? And they recently leaked the new game that they're going to be releasing being about the time traveling ball pit and basically being a video game adaptation of the book. And I'm wondering why they're putting so much emphasis on that. It's because that's what we're doing. We're time traveling with this mask. I think we're really onto something there, because that explains her relation to Fall Fest. She uses the mask to travel probably from Fall Fest to a different point in time or a different period or whatever, or maybe she uses it to time travel back, and maybe she sees some shit she isn't supposed to, or something like that. I don't know. Either way, that'll all have to wait for another day. For now, we're gonna end this video because holy shit, we've talked about a lot. We cleared up basically the whole timeline, and to summarize it really quick, we're gonna put it into like 5 sentences, or at least we're gonna try to. I tend to ramble. Security breach ends and a fire burns down the place, scarring Vanessa for life with possibly burns, most likely burns. She then takes some time and comes back later on to try to kill Burntrap and get revenge and clear out the area of the bad things. At the entrance of the security pizzaplex, at the entrance of the pizzaplex, Gregory is waiting for her and says that he will help her defeat Burntrap. But instead of helping her, he betrays her in an unknown way and she ends up dying and giving the mask to Cassie, which leads us to the DLC where Cassie picks up the mask, goes through the events of the DLC, gets locked in the basement with Roxy, creating this whole event where she has to go through, probably using the mask to traverse. Either way, she finds herself in a new location, doing a bunch of stuff to either survive or to clear out these ghosts and fix the problem via a computer setup that she has that's reliving through all of Vanessa's memories, probably through the mask, which after doing so, proves herself worthy enough to do the 4th princess quest, which is customly made for her to pass down the mantle. And in doing so, Vanessa, as a ghost inside of the machine, destroys Glitchtrap, getting rid of the glitch in the system, giving Cassie access to a mask with the ability to time travel and no downside. Which would explain why there's no visual effect right here, because if this is happening after, or technically before, this is happening before everything, because this is, you know, back in time, this is previously in time, basically. But that would explain why there's no purple stuff. Vanessa destroyed the glitch. The glitch is gone now. There is no purple shit everywhere, there's no floating things, because that was all Glitchtrap. Which also gives the DLC an entirely different point of view, because then everything you're seeing is like, damn, that's all Glitchtrap? everything is glitch trap? Damn. And at some point we're gonna have to replay through the DLC to confirm or deny that, but we're probably gonna end up doing that in a stream, because doing a whole series over again would be a lot. Either way, Jesus Christ, that was a lot to do. That was a lot to talk about. We did so much in this video, while also doing practically nothing. I don't even think we won a mini game at all. Oh wait, no, we did. We won one mini game and we earned one poster, which is not good enough. We need to get a fast cam so we can shoot that sun. But we'll focus more on that in the next episode, more so on just kind of, you know, brute forcing through a shit ton of mini games in a row to get all of the prizes, and also maybe hunting for some coins that we might have missed, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of coins we don't have right now. But I don't know entirely because Candy Cadet finished his story. So unless there's another story with a whole other set of coins, I'm pretty sure we got them all. But yeah, that's the end. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully we're right about all this stuff. I'm feeling really good about what we have so far. This timeline seems to be really killing it. It's tying everything together with a theme of like passing down ghosts throughout generations and Cassie finally breaking the cycle. It's this whole kind of story that fits together really nice, and I like the way that it's looking so far. So with that being said, I'm ending the video for real. Like and subscribe and all that shit if you want to support the channel. You already know what it does. If you want to see more stuff I've made, it should be appearing on screen now. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Peace out.